if you want to have an understanding of it, you must go outside of the cave. I mean, you must start from the cave and then go outside.
How far outside? Where would you go?
Well, I would say everywhere, but with to have a look at different culture would be a very good way to better understand how different culture could have coped with rock art, for example.
Hi, everybody. I'd like to talk a little bit about this moment as a way of setting us up for the next video. Herzog asks Julien Monet, the archaeologist and former circus man, what he thinks of what happens in the cave. He asks how we might interpret the things in the cave. And Monet says something really interesting, right? If you want to have an understanding of it, you must go outside. How far outside? Where would you go? I would say everywhere. Well, I would say everywhere. I'd like to stop and think about this for a moment in the context of the question of the Anthropocene and of the film. We're thinking about deep time, evolutionary time, prehistory, right, before recorded history, but it's obviously also recorded in some sense. We just can't interpret it to the same degree that we could written language that we've deciphered or can translate. So this idea of everywhere, we have to find ways to make connections, right? We have to take something concrete and specific, and in order to understand it, situate it in some kind of framework or context. This is the fundamental move that we'll be making again and again, right? So Monet goes on to say, well, you can think about these cave paintings in the context of existing cultures that continue to work with rock art, for example, in Australia, North America, South Africa. And in fact, we'll do a little of that moving forward, right? As we think about people who still live in ways that are connected in some fundamental sense to how human beings, to the best of our knowledge, have existed and lived and thought and believed for the vast, vast majority of our species' time on this planet. Right? We live in a very, very thin slice in the present, a very unique time. And we're still shaped by, informed by, and think like those people who lived 30,000 years ago in many respects, despite all of our technology and knowledge. So what I really want to get at here is, as you think about this film, or any of the films that you're writing about, you're making this move from something very concrete and specific, just like the paintings in the cave. Then you're going outside, and you're looking for a new framework. And you can go anywhere or everywhere. But that's too big, so you need to find some point of connection. Now, in the video that you're about to watch, my point of connection is my dog, right? But it's a way of thinking about human, non-human relations, right? The relations we have with non-human animals. And then that could be further narrowed, of course, because there are so many ways we relate to non-human animals. But I take the scene in which Herzog speculates about the wolf tracks and the boy footprints and says maybe they walked together as friends, maybe the wolf was tracking the boy, maybe they existed 10,000 years apart. But I take the idea of these tracks being together as a way to think about the domestication of the dog, right? And our subsequent molding and modeling of the dog into all of these different breeds for all of these different purposes, including companionship. That's just one way to think about this, right? How can you latch onto something and follow it? I do something similarly with the Pont d'Arc, right? The big stone bridge in the example I gave you the other day. There, I think more about geologic time, and thinking about the arch in ways that are also addressed later in the film, after that opening sequence, of course. Anyway, so you're going to watch my lecture, my walking lecture with my dog, and to get credit for attending today's class via video, you need to email me and mention 3 specific animals, non-human animals, that I mention in my video. Okay? They can be fantastical, right? They don't have to be exclusively existing types of animals. They could be hybrids between humans and non-human animals too. Okay? So please watch the video. Just email me. You just make a short list. I just want to know that you watched it. It's a form of taking attendance in these strange coronavirus times. Okay? That's it.